What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Video Homicide, and I'm back with another comic book review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, which I actually picked up at Villains, which is the warehouse store beside Heroes, downtown London, Ontario. They actually had an amazing sale happening where you fill a short box for $40. So, this is just one out of an entire short box of amazing books that I got. But I read this last night, and I'd always heard about it. I think I first heard about it through Alpha Omega Sin, who was a video game YouTuber years ago. He did a shelf tour of all of his graphic novels, and this was one of them. And I just never really looked into it. And then when I saw this flipping through the bins, I was like, oh, I gotta check that out. And I didn't even open it. I just grabbed it based off this. When I got home, I opened it. But before we get into the inside of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, I want to quickly let everybody know that my comics are currently for sale. I'm very limited on quantities of stuff, but I do have, I believe, at least two more of these sets that I've made that have everything from the first Filthy Ralph all the way to High as a Fly. So you get 10 comics for $30 Canadian plus shipping. Like I said, I don't even have every issue anymore. I have like a few sprinkled throughout, but I put a few of these together in hopes that I can entice some people to check out the comics. But anyways, I've also got a complete set of Cinema 187 right here, which has every issue from 1 to 6. There's a lot of stuff happening here. This is a little bit more pricey. This is $80 for every issue, but this is it. There's the very last copy of number 5, except for my own personal copy, is right there, the Asian edition, which sold really well. The one that I found out that sells the best is the yellow one right there, Cinema 187 issue 4, because I think people that come to Zine Fest and comic shops and shit like that, they've at least heard of the Video Nasties. It's a familiar thing, and then you spout off a few titles, Faces of Death, Last House on the Left. They go, oh yeah, I've heard of those. And I'm just like, well, every fucking artist did a piece out of that. So anyways, we're gonna take a look at Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. I'm so stoked, man. Like last night I was like literally about to crash out, and I have it over here because of the glare. But I was about to crash out. I just like looked over at the pile and I just kind of grabbed a few things, and this was one of them. So here we go. This is I gotta first say that this comic feels like it was fucking made for me. All right. So here we go. I also want to shout out the artist, Jhonen Vasquez. So this is actually the 25th printing, which is hilarious. Like, it's crazy to me that this did so well that it made 25 printings. Although the first couple of prints were probably maybe, as low as 50 to 150 or something, not like these were made in the thousands. Like take a look at Ninja Turtles #1. Like they only made, I think, 3,000 of the first issue. But there's a cool write-up here. I believe that this was I don't think this was in the original comic. I think this was added because I was doing a little bit of research on this comic last night, and I wanted to track down the remaining 6 issues, because if they all are like this, then I'm a fan. This guy Jhonen Vasquez, he also did that show Invader Zim, which I know what it is. I've seen it. I've never watched an episode, but I would know it to see it. So here we've got Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. Now, it's kind of confusing because I thought this little shit was Johnny the Homicidal Maniac when I first started reading it, but this little kid, he lives in a very fucked up house where his mom is just like passed out, drunk, doesn't give a fuck about him. He hears a strange noise in his room. His dad does not care. His dad says stuff like, let me find a good one. I'm busy right now, working. That's all I seem to do now. I have to work to keep you alive, to feed you. I haven't smiled once since you were born. Go to sleep. Like, this is the kind of shit his dad's saying to him. And I also love the use of these, like, jagged panel borders. Really cool stuff. Really cool. And I like how there's a little bit of negative, like the negative space on some of them, on some sides. Like, it's not always there. And it just does this cool framing thing around some of these characters. Really, really enjoy that. So our little boy and his stuffed animal, I think his stuffed animal's named Shmi. They end up going back into the room. Little boy thinks someone's in there, and someone actually is in the bathroom, and it's Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. Where the fuck is the back teen? He's got Pepper H and H. Matter of fact, this panel right here is fucking crazy, because this bottle of ointment, I'm sending a package off to the homie Dexter Cockburn, who does Goofy Funny, Spunk Comics, like all those really sort of in the same vein as like my shit, this shit. Uh, and I was drawing something like on like a little note, like what, you know, a little whatever kind of note. And I drew a thing with a hand gripping like ointment. And then later on last night, I fucking see this and I'm like, mine was so whack compared to that. So I absolutely love that. I love this font too. Like his lettering is really cool too. You know, it's I like seeing crazy fucked up lettering as long as you can still read it. You know what I mean? So Johnny meets this little boy and basically terrorizes, kills little Shmi, but then he lets them know that he's his neighbor. So some of these stories are are going to include this little boy throughout. Now, there's also these little just kind of one-offs, which I thought was funny. Like this one's where he saves this little rabbit and or like this little dog, whatever it was, and he takes him to free him, and then like he thinks he's freeing him, and then the cliff breaks and he falls off to his death. Crazy. Another Johnny story. This one's about this like salesman that's like going around trying to sell people shit. Love this. Like, damn, I'm nasty. Like, really cool stuff. Like, really well done, I should say. But Johnny ends up like fucking taking him and holding him hostage. Fucking with him. Ends up getting thrown out. Like the whole thing is like he's like asking him questions, and at the end he's like, ask me a different question after he's already fucking slammed his head against the wall. And I love this. It says, you just know this kid's gonna have problems. Font's a little small there, but it's supposed to be. Happy Noodle Boy is the comic that Johnny the Homicidal Maniac like creates, which is fucking bonkers on its own. I like it's the main character is like a simple stick man, but everyone else is like this really cool cartoony thing. Like, you know, one thing I've been doing that I haven't really mentioned on YouTube is I bought this dollar store sketchbook, and if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen I've been posting different parts out of it. So I'm very like I'm in this creative mode of like developing all these new characters and stuff, and I've actually just done two comic one pagers because I'm doing a solo anthology. I want to shout out Jim Mafood, who is the creator of Girl Scouts and a bunch of other really cool comics. Jim Mafood video will be coming soon because I tracked down sort of something I was actually looking for that I found at the sale that I paid next to nothing for, a couple of cents, I guess. But he said in one of these videos, I think it was for the 30th anniversary of Girl Scouts, he said, you know, if he had advice or for somebody, like, don't just make a comic anthology, you know, and you can like do it in different styles and stuff. So I'm doing that currently. I've got two one-pagers done. One of them is called Shit. One of them is called Death Orders Pizza. So you can pretty much put two and two together with that stuff. But really inspiring to see this kind of stuff, like this type of energy on a page is exactly what I need, because I've sort of been complacent in some of my most recent comics. I haven't even shown yet, but I'm really trying to draw inspiration from people like Jhonen Vasquez and other people like that. But so there's Happy Noodle Boy. This right here is another one pager. Probably the thing that sticks out the most of this to me is so he kills everyone inside this fucking taco shop, but at the end, like, his TV has rabbit ears, but they're like actually rabbit ears. Oh, that's what it was. So everyone was saying he was wacky, and he fucking hated that and killed everyone at the very end. The news is saying, you know, this guy was a witness said he was wacky, and it like fucking throws him over the edge. I love that stuff. I'm sorry I'm spoiling everything, but I had such a good time. I need to talk about this comic. Meanwhile, so this was just like another sort of non-related to Johnny story about these kids who end up, like, I think they're crossing guards, like, on this place, like this exact place was used for like battles, like way back, and like they reincarnate these fucking people. I was really baked when I read this, so really cool art. Excellent stuff. I love circle panels. It's one thing I don't really do. We've got one here called Wobbly Headed Bob. I don't really remember that one too much. Another One pager here. There's like stuff written around this panel too, which is fucking crazy. Johnny story. So this was the one, oh yeah, this is the one where he's talking to like this dead rabbit. And basically the dead rabbit is the good angel, and then the bad angel is this Pillsbury Doughboy fucking thing he's got on the counter. So you can see like this right here is fucking funny. I hope this is focused, because I just looked at the camera and it's like, or like on my phone, it doesn't look that focused, but yeah, he like Johnny's very suicidal here. The Pillsbury's telling him to kill himself. Rabbit says no, and at the end, like they're just fucking eating cheesies, watching TV. Another Happy Noodle Boy story. Always good. Dear Diary, today I stuffed some dolls full of dead rats I put in the blender. Crazy. So there you have it. The 25th printing of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure you leave a 666 in the comments. With that being said, adios and have an amazing day.